How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Left 4 Dead Character Files. For today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the second most slept on character of the entire series, our boy Lewis. To make sure that I cover as much information on the character as possible, I'll be breaking down the video into two main chapters, one covering the description of the character, and another discussing a little bit about the background of the character, just to get enough about who he is and what exactly he was doing before he found himself caught up in a zombie apocalypse. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's dive deep into the character files. Starring as one of the main survivors in Left 4 Dead, Lewis is the star of the group. He brings a certain positive energy that just emits off of him that you just gotta have around with you. Lewis sports a white buttoned-up collar polo shirt with some black pants, with the fanny pack on his left leg and the black Sperry topsiders on his feet, complemented with some gray socks and a snazzy red tie. Lewis is the best dressed survivor out of the entire roster. Even in a damn zombie apocalypse, with zombies that I'd consider deadlier than the ones in World War Z, he still manages to stay well dressed. Literally, who else can pull off the Wing San half shirt tucked in other than this guy? Trust me, I tried before, and I look like a damn fool. If the outfit looks familiar, that's because Lewis's outfit is based off the zombie comedy hit Shaun of the Dead, who wears pretty much the exact same thing. However, Lewis's facial model is based off a singer named Sean Bennett. And not knowing this, until now, they look exactly alike. Which I understand is the point of using his face as the model to go off of, but damn, that resemblance is uncanny. Very good job, Val. Very good job. Even though Lewis's face model is a singer, his rates must have been a bit pricey because they decided to use Earl Alexander as his voice actor. And this man did an amazing job helping bring this character to life. I mean, can you imagine playing Lewis and he sounded like this?
Critic, I got room for improvement. I never said I was
Exactly. It just doesn't fit. Believe it or not, Lewis looked drastically different back in the beta version of the game. Back then he was rocking the boots, black jeans with the yellow polo, the Carhartt jacket combo, and he also had a bandage on the right side of his head. And I say right side because if you face the way he's facing, you'll notice that's his right side and not his left. Or I may be just looking at this a little too hard. Keep in mind that the beta version of this game was mainly developed by Turtle Rock Studios, so it had very to little no Valve influence. And I would argue this version of Left 4 Dead was almost a completely different game, and something a little bit closer to what Back 4 Blood is actually looks like. If you really look at it, you can see it. If you look at the character designs, for a lot of the special infected, they resemble something of those unidentifiable alien zombie hominids that we got in Back 4 Blood. That was until our boy Gabe N got his hands on the game, and he reminded everyone that this was a zombie game, so they worked on that and brought some of that big money quality into the game, and gave us the gold that we still hold dear to our hearts even 10 years plus after the game's release. Well, both games' releases actually. Unlike the special infected, we're actually given some info into the background lives of the game's survivors previous to becoming bags of meat to be tenderized by the Charger. As I mentioned in my Hunter video, Left 4 Dead even has a line of comic books that goes deeper into the lore of the world that we play in. You know, if you actually care about that sort of stuff. Actually, you know what? First, we're going to start off with his beta background, since that's the story they ended up not going with, and the original concept for Lewis. He was supposed to be a dingy-ass homeless guy with an unkempt beard and a bad boo-boo on his head. Then, as I quote, he later managed to clean himself up and became an assistant manager at an electronics chain store. All of that story was practically scrapped up until the part about him working in the field of technology, because Valve actually kept that aspect of his character. According to Valve's official description of Lewis, it reads, Lewis had been working up the courage to quit his job as a junior systems analyst at his company's IT department when a virus showed up and downsized the world. And now Lewis has a new set of goals and a new set of tools to help achieve them. With any luck, he'll figure out how the new management operates before they get a chance to murder him. It's also known that Lewis is an expert on firearms because he had the hobby of going to gun ranges in his free time. His coworkers even joked around about this with him. But he needed that, because look at that, it turned out to be pretty useful. Lewis also played Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2, and in his free time he managed to learn Japanese. This goes to show that Lewis indeed has the intellect needed to keep himself alive in an apocalyptic situation. Out of all the languages he chose to learn, he decides to choose Japanese. If that doesn't say man of culture, then I don't know what does. Apparently it's not known when exactly Lewis or any of the other survivors met up with each other, but it is speculated that they've only been together for a few weeks or so. Up until then, we experienced the growth between Lewis and the other characters between the times we shared with them playing through all the campaigns and making our way to a moment none of us were expecting. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, maybe click subscribe so you don't miss out on the next character file. Also, happy holidays.
Color television, fan on the ceiling, abstract art on the walls, living different. 1989, talking on the phone, wind blowing hard, all the windows closed. Turquoise sheets, pink pillows, Motel 6, that's room 24. Meet you in the morning, meet me here tonight. Vibrating bed, gotta say it all right. Black marble sink, gold in the faucet, fresh bar soap, many shampoo bottles. Playing some Atari, she blowing on my cartridge. Room service knocking, I can hear him at the door. Do not disturb, hanging